We're taking it away. I want to make sure that I mute. We're taking it away. There we go. Yeah, it just pops up anywhere. All right, I got my chat opened for Zoom and YouTube. I'll probably be taking questions more toward the end, so stay with me. But welcome to the masterclass. We are talking all about the best rituals and routines for the entrepreneur mom. So if that's what you want, if you're ready to get out from under the weight of your current routine, you're feeling like, oh, I'm dragging every day. This isn't the life that I signed up for, either in motherhood or business, then you're in the right place. I got you. Let's talk about it. Pulling out my notes. So I got a little bit of some order that we're gonna go down, but I do want to just say that what we're going to do here is get really clear on what's kind of working and what's not working in your schedule right now, and then how we can make it work, right? And get rid of what doesn't. And then I also want to give you a brief little, illustration of why snoozing your alarm every morning is actually it's cannibalizing your blessing, right? It's blocking your miracle because you are snoozing instead of doing this thing. So I'm gonna get to that. Okay, so this is one thing I definitely want to make sure you walk away with some guidance there. But if you are scrambling in your life because you're not thinking clearly, you are just kind of drowning in all the daily to do, the just the school for your kids, or maybe they're not in school yet and it's every toddler tantrum ever that you're dealing with, whatever it is, right? Kind of on the home front, and making dinner and planning it all and getting everything on time, anticipating the needs of every single person in your household. And then on top of that, also trying to run a full-time business, or at least maybe quit your job to start a business. I mean, this is kind of what we're talking about. If you don't have room to breathe, you are definitely taking it out on your family. So you're going to be cranky, you're going to be angry, you're going to be upset, resentful, and you're going to be taking it out on your kids. You are definitely, if you're still married, taking it out on your partner. In whatever way, you are taking it out on your co-parent. If you're feeling underappreciated, spread too thin, just scrambled, just stretched, right? Beyond your capabilities, you're going to definitely be taking it out on your kids, and it's not, and your family. And it's not because you want to, it's because it's humanly inevitable you will. So you definitely want to obviously be in a position where you aren't taking out your bad days on anyone else, right? You're definitely owning them. You're walking into your day fully aware of what you will and won't do, right? What you're saying yes to, what you're saying no to. So you have a clear balance, right, between which you're not going to give the time of day. You're not going to entertain or let your energy be used in that direction. And then you know where your energy will be used. And so right there, that is just motivation and momentum because you know, right? Just the knowing really clears up all that confusion and makes you feel lighter. So we definitely want to enter the day clear, right? Um, whatever, whatever you do, whether you want to set routines or you don't, really, this masterclass is for you. Because if you don't want to establish more routines, this is for you. If you do want to establish more routines, more rituals for your life as a mom or an entrepreneur, this video is for you. And I will tell you why that sounds weird is because it's just the same coin. It's just two sides of the same coin. Your view on what you think a ritual or routine is, and if it's somehow hindering your access to wealth and abundance and peace in your life, or whether you think it's the avenue to get there, you're right, right? You're both right. Whatever you believe is true. So however you want to kind of tweak this idea of a ritual or a routine to make this masterclass fit for you, you'll find what you needed, okay? There's actually something that I put out there. You might have already purchased it, but it's called the Own Your Day Toolkit, and it's for anyone who wants to build better habits the easier way. That's kind of how I look at it because your habits can be what make or break your day. Okay. Your habits, how you're running on autopilot, the beliefs that produce the behavior you do on a regular basis, that is kind of what you want to be enlightened to so that you can do away with what's not working and then bring in more what is. And so in the Own Your Day toolkit, I kind of break all this down, but I want to reveal really the trick to why that toolkit works so well. I want to kind of break it down in this masterclass. So even if you don't check out the toolkit, you'll get what you need in this class. If you want to check out the toolkit, I'll put the link below. But if you watch this masterclass, you may not need it. So let's just backpedal and we'll say, what are rituals and routines? Really, we have to kind of define those for ourselves. What are they in your life? What are they? What purpose do they serve? And then why are they? Why are they there? What do you need them for? What do you believe about rituals and routines that make them work or make them not work for you? And it's in the discovering of what you believe a ritual or routine is, how it makes or breaks your life. Then it boils down to what you believe about yourself. What you believe about yourself will be revealed, right? When you kind of dissect this idea of you getting organized in your day, you getting more orderly in your life, right? There's an aversion there or there's an attraction there. Either way, there's something you don't believe about yourself that makes you fully equipped and capable and able to adopt a routine or ritual that will stick, that will work for you in your life as an entrepreneur mom, predominantly, right? And why do moms, I wanted to ask this question. So, why do moms especially need something that resembles a non-negotiable, right? Something that's set up in their day that they can rely on. And I believe it's because we let go, right? We don't have to grip so hard to the result or the outcome because you have help. There's somebody reliable to rescue that mom and give her a break, right? Let her blink, let her close her eyes and just breathe. I believe that's why. That's why we want to rely on something like something in our calendar, a non-negotiable. Everybody in my family, everybody in my village, in my community knows that I do this thing on this day, and they're supporting me, right? So it's a very, it's a, you can view it how you want to, but ultimately it's a safety mechanism, right? That gives us the ability to take our foot off the gas as moms because we can be going without any reprieve. If we pile that on our shoulders because we feel like we're the only ones to get the job done correctly, or there's no other person around who will do it like I do it. And I want to do it for that reason because it means so much to me. So, what in your life does mean so much to you? What is so important that it get done by you and only you? I want you to evaluate that right now. Maybe let's take a big breath in and kind of think about your list of like, what is so reliant on me only doing this thing? And why do I feel that is the case? So take a breath in and out, another one in and out. And then after this full exhale, stay with that empty belly, that empty chest, the empty lungs, the empty mind. And then inhale. Again, kind of this open space for clarity. There's a lot in that space, right? After we take a breath like that, there's a lot in that space, a lot of richness there, a lot of potential, and a lot of clarity in that breath in. After you recognize being still, right? And being without the judgment and the criticism and the things that you're worried about, right? The fear, there's something to it, right? What comes next after that, the letting go of that is really powerful. And so I would say, like, do take your biggest bold actions after you're clear. So when you're clear, so when you've done the work and you feel clear, take those actions, right? So who might even be doing this? How am I going to even show you the way? What do I even know? Well, I'm a mom. I'm a full-time entrepreneur too. And not only that, I'm a homeschooling learning coach for my son. So I'm a homeschooling mom. I'm a single mom. And I am balancing all that, right? I'm finding that I can get all the things done that are the most important things every single day, not lose sight of the things that matter most to me, so that when I lay my head down at night, I feel very present with what is. I feel no resentment, no bitterness, no, I don't fall asleep with those things. And if I do, then I'll have the insomnia, right? I'll wake up and then I'll attend to it, right? Maybe I was too, I guess, in my head, that I didn't give myself the time, and then it showed up right in my dreams. It woke me up, or something was like, let's settle the spirit. And then I get to do my little routines when I am having a sleepless night. That puts me right back to sleep, and I sleep like a baby. And it's when I'm true to that kind of ritual and routine of like when I'm having a restless night, what do? I don't abandon those things that have worked for me, that continue to work for me, that I see serving me in the best way. I don't abandon those things, right? Those stay very present, top of mind, and very accessible at the ready for me as an entrepreneur mom, because I know what works. I know what's serving me. I know what's helping me be present and patient with my kids on a regular basis versus being the scrambled, crazed, um, just scatterbrained mom, in a cloud. I did a lot of videos on that, just mom brain and what it does to us, what it does to our parenting, what it does to our business. So I've been here, done this, right? I've done the work to kind of really see what's working for me. And then all the while, I still know that even that will ebb and flow. Even those rituals and routines will take on a new light, a new shade, a new aroma, because it's going to look a little bit different as I evolve, right? As my kids evolve and grow. Like it's going to look different because maybe I have more hours to sleep at night, right? Just continuous hours of sleep instead of, waking up to nurse, let's say, like I did when I was freshly postpartum. So things start to look different, right? It's a new essence, right? And so you start to factor in all the newness that comes as you continue to rise up and level up in who you are and who you're becoming. That all of this starts to like, okay, let me factor that in now too. I don't want to neglect any part of me, because everywhere that I've been matters to this moment right now. All of who I am, who I bring to the table right now, matters to who I am. And yeah, it might be helping me or hindering me. And that's for me to decide. That's for me to kind of be exposed to the truth of, if I'm in a cycle, if I'm in a rut, I'm seeing, okay, what am I doing here? What am I doing? What am I believing ultimately behind those actions? And what could, because why I'm taking those actions is a belief. And so I'm kind of, I get to whittle down to the truth and see what's not aligned, right? What's not getting me to my goals, what's not setting me on the path to my ultimate, beautiful, luscious, oh my gosh, dreamiest vision. And so I get to be made aware of those things, right, on a regular basis. Um, but yeah, I'm teaching my son so many subjects that I never thought I'd have to learn. It's kind of like I didn't want to have to be here, but I'm welcoming the beauty of what being a mom calls to my life, because it's unpredictable. It's never the same, right? And so I'm recognizing that being a mom requires of me that I slow down, and take a look and assess and see what's going on, so that I can be with it all. I want to be with how my son and my sons both are growing and evolving and becoming who they are. And yeah, it gives me pause when I see something not working out, right? Or I'm seeing a personality trait that I'm just like really not fond of. And then being able to take a breath and say, they're still going to be okay. Or taking a breath and saying, well, that's my opinion, and really just kind of channeling my attention to the things and the thoughts that serve my highest good, my highest interest, that yes, my boys will be okay. Yeah, will we not like our kids sometimes? Absolutely. Absolutely. We will not like our kids sometimes. We will be so frustrated and so confounded by their behavior sometimes that we will be like, what is going on? What am I doing wrong? Instead of asking that question, what am I doing wrong? Ask, what is this showing me? What can I do here? And if or what do I believe right, about my son that's causing me to see him in this way? What do I believe about me as a mother that's causing me to perceive the situation as catastrophic or an emergency or a problem, right? Because what is your problem is not necessarily someone else's problem, or what's your problem, mom, is not necessarily your kid's problem. So it's just, taking a step back and kind of being with that, being with the moment, not necessarily to judge it and condemn it and then therefore lash out at your kids for something that you perceive as a problem, but more so to kind of ask yourself, why is it a problem? And then from there, right, a fully informed, fully intuitive, fully insightful self that you bring to the table as mother, right? Somebody who cares to the utmost for this person, unconditionally, can kind of advise these two humans having an interaction. I think you can kind of be back into your soul seat, being kind of in touch with where the ego might be wanting to step in, and absolutely where the spirit wants to intervene and step in and kind of remind you of the truth. So I would say when I shifted in my business as a coach, right? I'd been coaching entrepreneurs for years, and I had switched after becoming a mom to really working with the entrepreneur mom. So I wanted to work with a mom who's also an entrepreneur because I recognized in myself as entrepreneur turned mom that whoa, it's like, whoa, put on the brakes. What's going on? This is totally different. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm floundering. And if I continue at this pace in this way, I'll continue to flounder. But here's my moment to kind of seize the day and say, this is how I want my days to go. This is how I want my years, right? My life to feel. And then always coming back to that. And this is how I begin to own my day. This is how I began to reclaim a life without burnout, reclaim a life with full energy and excitement, right? And love for my kids. And even when the mess is all around us, and I'm like, how is this going to get cleaned up and who's going to do it? And is it going to be me? Catching myself right then and saying, you know what? I believe in my sons. They'll clean it up. And they do, right? But it's when I think, right? I'm in those low vibration kind of thoughts that pull me down, hold me back, make me think that it's all reliant on me. Do I start to think and believe that, oh, I'm the one to clean all this up. It's going to be me. And those ideas in my head that percolate are few and far between. I absolutely know that they're fully capable. They can do it. I just get to be patient with the process as they grow into a person who cleans up after themselves. So, but I had all this success, right? Accolades. I mean, high ticket coach, highly successful, published author, you name it, do, been there, done that. And I'd become a mom and immediately question like, what am I doing? Who am I to be doing this? What do I even matter? So the existential crisis hit hard. And what I made important changed because my whole outlook on life and my priorities shifted in an instant, right? In an instant, everything shifted. And I needed to recognize that. I needed to let that sink in because this would fuel the rest of my days. This newfound feeling of owning this role as mother and being the best mother that I could be, right? Showing up as the best I could be, right? In mothering, in parenting, in guiding, in shepherding this human soul, right? Precious and impressionable soul, doing the best that I can for this person, right? That is kind of like everything kind of hinged on me being that first. And so my business had to change, right? And I decided right then and there, no longer it's just a free willing single something, right? Able to do anything she wanted with her hubby, and we were just living life, traveling, doing our thing. It's like, okay, well, settle down. Let's um get a trust, all those things. And so, all of those kind of like life altering decisions had to be made, or I guess life affirming decisions kind of had to be made. And so, yeah, it was a beautiful reckoning, right? A beautiful awakening to life and how it looked different and how beautiful now this new iteration, this new chapter could be if only I believe I can. If only I believe I can do this. Um, when I was struck with PPD, postpartum depression, and I was at my lowest of lows, I was just in the depths. I was wrestling with some pretty grim thoughts of myself and who I was to even be their mom. And I was, yeah, questioning my worth. It's remembering like, oh, none of this matters when it comes to me and my relationship with my boys. Nothing outside of my connection with them matters to diminish the light that I want to build here, right? That I want to fuel the fire of. And then same thing for any relationship, right? Your partner, your siblings. My siblings and I went through the death of my father last year, and we had to huddle up and be together. And I think that was really important that we stay together as five and not let kind of outsiders come in and break us up because it matters to us that we have a like a tight bond, right? Tight relationship. So that really was the fuel under that fire to make sure, even though death can bring about a lot of ugliness in people, and yeah, estates and splitting up estates could make it ugly. That wasn't the case for at least us five. I think there were moments when it got tumultuous, it got uh hairy, I guess, but we were definitely, but at the end of it, still together, right? Still strong, or at least in a place where we can continue to stay strong and come back together and be together, right? Well, anyway, I say that because there comes this time in your life when you will be met with the decisions like that, be it motherhood, be it a death in the family, be it divorce, be it starting a business or pivoting in your business. I know when I was a brand new entrepreneur mom, I did do it like kind of a harsh pivot where I closed out clients and till, contracts were over and completely pivoted in who I was even talking to so that it looked really different, my business. And yeah, for sure, people dropped along the way. And it was okay, right? Because I know that, hey, this is the new me. I'm still who I was, right? But then now we're bringing all of that and we're helping in this way. We're helping in this way, and everything I've done in the past still comes with me, right? Everything I know about myself, everything I know to be true, everything that I've studied and learned and sacrificed in order to adopt in my life as my mainstay beliefs, right? The way that I am are still here. And so I'm still coming from that place as a coach, a mentor, a guide, and really, really proud of what I'm able to, um, I guess, be used for, right? In this work of elevating our consciousness, right? Rising and ascending to the next version of ourselves as entrepreneur and mom, able to juggle both, right? Without the struggle, able to balance both without burnout, able to do both and feel like you are fully uh, in your element. You're fully alive doing both. Like you're fully living on purpose as both mother and entrepreneur. And then everything else still is like flourishing and thriving, right? Because you've got kind of your main priorities working. You've got family, boom, taken care of. You've got business, clients, your expression of self, your creative, most beautiful like version of you out there in the world, giving of yourself, being of use, serving, right? You're able to do that. So both are really thriving on purpose. And I think that is what really fuels me right now, this idea of helping moms do that. And so that's how the Mastermind for Entrepreneur Moms was born. That's how this idea of helping moms as a thought partner, right, in their business so that they're not left alone, like I felt so many times, even hiring mentors and coaches during that time after kids. I never felt like I was seen. I was seen on all levels as mother and entrepreneur. I definitely felt like, okay, nobody else gets it. I'm definitely on my own here. How am I navigating like in my home equal distribution of labor? How am I handling that conversation? This is all stuff I was teaching myself on the go that now moms don't have to teach because or learn on their own because I can help teach them and guide them and show them the way that, hey, this is what worked for me. And at the underlying, the root of it is mindset. And it's not how any one of us does it, but it's what we believe about how we can do it that matters most. And so when we get to that root core belief, then then we see like a whole different life. We don't see one that's full of miscommunication, breakdown in the family, in the home, in who's buying what, who's doing what, who's bringing home what, who's picking up who, like who, it's like there was no breakdown there when all this was really made clear. And then with the with understanding in your relationship so that nobody's domineering over the other one, nobody feels unseen, unheard, left behind, right, in the family, when it's like everybody, we're all here to make this home, right? This is our household, right? We share this. It's not only, one person and what they say goes. Like it very much is like we're family, we're a family unit. And those units, those families who work together in that way, stay together. They bond together, right? They're forever built on this idea of camaraderie and compassion and collaboration over competition. And that's a subtle seeding of an idea, slowly seeding it and planting it and nurturing it. And when you see the green sprout, like knowing, okay, it's time for everybody to like see this is what came of this, right? Our work together in this regard. Look, our seedling, right? And then it gets to become a beautiful oak tree one day because you all put in the work together. You all bought into the belief that this mattered, this was important, and nobody was confused about any of it, right? And this takes time. And so it leads me to bring us to we're going to do a little activity together. I want you to walk away with a little bit of insight as to how you're running your day, what your current schedule looks like, and why, right? So, what are your current routines, current rituals? What is most important to you right now based on how you're spending your time? Come to terms with that. So get clear on what that is for you. And as you're kind of thinking through your day, right, from morning to night, walking through, I've been waking up like this. I've been doing this, getting the kids out of bed, been doing this to get teeth brushed. I've been doing this to get breakfast going. I've been doing this to get out the door, everybody get to where they need to go. I've been doing this to reinforce love in this situation, or I haven't been doing this to reinforce love. If anything, maybe I'm reinforcing stress and um, uh, misbehavior because we're all just flying by the seat of our pants. We're not sure, you know, um, we're doing so much of what we don't want to do. And I guess I'm speaking for kids here. Like the kids are doing so much of what they don't want to do. Um, that the habit for them is not wanting to do anything that you say. If there's something as you're walking through the day, all the way to dinner, coming home, what's that energy like? Coming, dinner, putting dinner on the table, however that is. If it's, ordering in, if it's making a home chef meal, if it's making something from scratch, putting it on the table, family style, everybody serves themselves, like whatever that looks like, right? Is this what you wanted, right? How was this what you called to yourself? And is this how what you continue to want to create? Wherever you feel like there's a need for a change, right? Something you want to change about your current routine. What is it that you want changed? What is it exactly that you want changed, right? And we're walking through the day all the way till you lay your head on your pillow at night, because um, how what you want changed about your schedule isn't just the doing of the schedule. It's really like I've been saying this whole time, the belief behind the schedule, what you believe about yourself and why you have continued to operate in this way to where it's just that I'm on autopilot. I'm doing this and I still feel like I can't keep up. I still feel behind. I still feel like I can't keep up with my kid's schedule, can't keep up with my schedule, can't keep up with my partner's schedule. Um, are you feeling like this is the example I'm setting for my kids, being this run down and ragged? I don't want to keep doing this, right? So what is it that you want changed, right? What do you, um, and I guess a good example would be like, does mommy always talk about work all day? Is she saying, or the kids thinking, mommy talks about work all day? I need to go to work. I need to get back to this. I need to get back to getting on phone calls with clients or getting on discovery calls with prospective clients or it's going to do laundry. I need to go wash the dishes, right? I need to be working, right? And so the kid is saying, I need to be working. Mom's always working. She's doing something. She's leaving me to always go work. And then what does that instill in them? Um, this idea of, well, work is what matters. Work is the most important thing. Um, work is value, right? I should be working too. And so then I live to work. I grow up to be a man about town. I don't know what's that. What's that? A man about town? I don't know. Being in the world, right? Doing the things, keeping up, climbing to the top. Uh, and that is what it means to be taken seriously, right? That I'm just working my ass off because this is what mom did and this would make mom proud, right? Is that the example we're setting? And if so, do you want to change any aspect of that? And what is it exactly that you want to change? And so sit with that for a second as I drink. Let me see if there's any. Yeah, sit with that for a second. I'm just checking chat, making sure I'm not missing anything. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for engaging. Thanks for being here, being on live. If you're watching the replay, always feel free to comment and I will catch those as well, just as if you were on live with me. But thanks for putting in some comments. It's lovely to see so many people from around the world um, and knowing that this is reaching you, right? That something about this is resonating. And so there were a few things that I was saying that I was going to get into that I wanted to make sure that you walk away with. And it's this idea of like what's working, what's not working in your current schedule. So hopefully you've got that down. You've written something out. You know what wants to change. And if you don't, stay with me. It's going to start to be made clear. I want that to feel like, okay, I'm coming in back into control of what I can control. Okay. So notice the words I'm saying and how I'm saying them. It's very important that we come from the right perspective, especially when it comes to mindset and how mindset really rules the day. Because think about it this way. Uh, we we see everywhere manifesting millions, manifesting a dream life, and we are very much in the power of manifesting our own reality, manifesting our truth, or manifesting like uh well, I want to say I think that's mostly what people tend to say, something related to money, manifesting money, right? When you boil it down, this idea of manifestation doesn't work without mindset, doesn't work without the belief that triggers every response thereafter, right? So manifestation is very much rooted and tied into something like this too, this kind of conversation around rituals and routines. It's not mutual exclusive. It's not out there on its own. Manifesting, creating, predicting your future, right? Being co-creators with God in how your life unfolds is very much like part of manifestation, is what mindset can reward you with, right? Uh, is just kind of coming to terms with getting clear on your mindset. And I want to tell you that by snoozing your alarm, you're playing dice with the variables in this co-creation with God. You're playing dice. You are not clear by snoozing your alarm. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why it might be killing your blessing. It might be killing your mojo. It might be killing your momentum. Because by snoozing your alarm, you're sending mixed messages to the universe. Okay. It's okay to snooze. Sometimes I do because the body will demand it, right? The body and mind aren't in sync, and then one needs just a little bit longer or whatever. The body will definitely make it clear, like, no, you are not getting out of bed right now. So yeah, the brain and body will let you know. And that usually is because, yeah, there's maybe too much stress, too much clutter going on in your life, too much heaviness, too much of you doing it all, doing everything yourself, that you, one, can't sleep and then you can't wake up, right? Because it was a groggy, just ridiculous night's sleep, not, and you just don't feel rested. So then, yeah, the body will fight for that extra sleep. But why did you set your alarm in the first place? Was it just to get up? Was it just to get yourself ready for the day? Was it just to get you and your kids ready for the day? Was it just to line up everything so that you can get out the door on time? Or was it also because you wanted an easy morning? You wanted one with less stress? Was it also because you believe in yourself so much that by waking up at this time, I'm committed to getting a workout in? Or I'm committed to sitting at the table and just in silence or journaling or sipping tea and looking outside and watching the birds. Um, what was it, right? Because all of that ultimately is a feeling. It's not the doing of any of it. It's the feeling that you wanted to feel when you started the day. So you set your alarm for that. What are you after, right? At the when it comes to setting an alarm that you're not going to snooze on, you have to be clear on what are you after? What are you going for right now? And has your current identity bought into the idea that you are her, that you can have that, that you will be able to do this? To where the motivation to get up is intrinsic. It's from within. It's like, oh, it's a no-brainer that I get out of bed right now. Like, yes, I'm jumping out of bed. And I'm sure you felt that way, right? That you want to jump out of bed and do it. It's like, I don't need a snooze. In fact, I probably woke up a little bit before my alarm. Like that's how ready I am. Not in a groggy way, but in a, oh man, I feel rested and rejuvenated and I'm ready. Let's go. And what do you do in that moment, right? If if by waking up and not honoring what you intended that alarm for, and instead getting into the rat race, right? Of just getting yourself all strung up in chaos, then of course the snooze will feel better than that. But if you're holding true to why you set the alarm, because ultimately the feeling that you wanted to dominate the day was what you were going to set in motion, then the alarm feels easy to get up to, right? It's a pleasant awakening versus where, you're not getting up because you're not convinced that you can do this or that you believe in yourself or that you are capable. You're too tired to do, XYZ. I'm all for rest, right? And listening to your body, yes. But in that case, don't set alarms. Listen to your body. Let your body be the alarm. Okay. Learn to intuit your body's calls and um, desires, what it's asking for, right? Because then you are perfecting kind of this natural rhythm to your life, one that feeds the birds, one that feeds the trees, one that rises the sun and, or rises the sun and sets the sun and the moon and all that, right? This kind of orbit happening and everything works because we've got this much in a day, we've got this much night to rest. And right, everything just kind of flows. And the moon, right? The moon has its phases and it goes in and out. Uh, just like that is happening without us needing to do anything about it, but yet it does kind of um, fuel the continuity of life-taking course. Nobody's rushing anybody to do anything. Every phase has its time and it's moving and it's going and everything's all good. There's time for everything. There's plenty. There's enough natural rhythm to your life. Now, if you want to hone in that, right? Hone in that idea and make that your truth. Like, oh, I wake up when my body wakes up and I absolutely wake up always on time. Then that's one thing, right? But if you're like everyone else who needs the alarm to get up and all that, then, this is for you. Because if you use alarms, then if you use alarms and you're snoozing, you're giving the universe an unclear signal as to what it is you want, right? What it is you desire so achingly bad. Like, what is it that just like, oh my gosh, I really want this. And so by snoozing, you're committing yourself unconsciously, maybe, to a life without it. But by waking up and letting the alarm be what is, okay, I agree to this. This is what I set my alarm to be when I was super clear-headed. We talked about making decisions when you're clear, taking action when you're clear, setting an alarm when you're clear on what it is that you want to create. And all the while throughout the day, it's not just about the alarm, it's how you live the rest of the day, right? We don't want to run ourselves ragged to the ground all the way crashing, crash landing on the pillow, um, because we didn't kind of keep that pacing, that truth of who we are, um, the forefront of what we were doing and choosing to do every day or throughout the day. So the universe is like, well, what do you want, right? Because you keep snoozing on this idea, then you don't really feel ready. So then we'll just stay here. We'll just keep doing this, right? Because that's what you want, right? um, the universe wants to believe that what you say goes, right? It's when you put it out there, you're like, this, I'm setting the alarm for this. I'm going to do this and I'm going to get up and work out. I'm going to get up and da-da. I'm going to get up and slow start into my day. I'm going to have enough time for a facial. I'm going to have enough time for the red light mask. I'm going to have enough time to stretch and do yoga, go outside for a walk before the whole house gets up. I'm going to do all that. And, and that's gonna, whatever, be what the rest of the day hinges on, right? Just getting clear on that. But then take that feeling, right? That energy of freedom and flowing and choice into the rest of the day there by choosing more ease and flow and space and rest and, slow start, right, to the day, coming back to that however many times that you need to, through your breath, through just taking a step away from the desk, from getting off the phone call a little bit earlier so that you're not jam packing your day with call after call after call after call, leaving some buffer time. And even yet, as an entrepreneur mom, leaving buffer between time as entrepreneur and time as mom, leaving a space to do the transition, right? Do that Clark Kent change in the phone booth into mother. Like, okay, okay, shake that off and all good. We're doing this. Now I'm mommy. I'm ready to engage as a mother, and be with my kids, right, in the way that I want to be with my kids. So see how the start of the day really does lend itself to the rest of the day, but not if you forget, or not if you're snoozing, not if you're losing sight of why all of this matters, right? Because of how you want to show up. Uh, but anyway, the nuts and bolts of that is when you are getting clear on your routine and ritual. Yeah, you might want to use alarms. So set your morning alarm, set an evening alarm, whatever it is. And I usually have something like that be a really soft and pleasant sound, not like a. No. Your alarms, you can change your ringtone on them, change the tone to be something like da 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 da, fluttering, flickering, shining, shimmering. Make sure that it doesn't startle the spirit, like it absolutely like, okay, still soothing, but just a friendly reminder that we're gonna do this now. So that's just a little pro tip. But as you're getting clear on what you want to be your rituals, your routines, and what I mean by that, if we can just kind of remove the criticism around the word, the verbiage, we can just say that all that is just something I'm committing myself to consciously. I'm saying that this is what I believe to be a conduit for my up leveling, a conduit for my next identity, a conduit for how I want to live right now, every day as this person, right? This is a conduit of energy. The ritual, what I choose to do right now, how I choose to lay out my day, right, in that routine. And so this starts the alarm, right? The alarm conversation. That's going to kind of lend itself into when you might set an alarm. But um, when you have that really clear, you know what you want, you know how maybe the day set up to continue to support you having what you want, and really, I want to say, shout out loud to the universe saying, this is what I still want. Look how I'm living my life. Look how I'm choosing to live every day. The universe is like, oh, sure, yes. But no, that takes clarity, right? You know that that takes clarity so that you can co-create with God, the universe, in this very deliberate, beautiful, magical way. You get clear on what you want. And by getting clear on what you want, you're also clear on what you don't want. So then you know your boundaries right there. It's a no-brainer to have boundaries, to have hell yeses and hell nos. Um, to not let something stand in the way, like fear, right? That is just a shiny object or a distraction, something that you use to escape your priorities. So, what do you want this new routine to look like? How do you want it to support you living the best, richest, most juicy life ever, delicious days? Um, and something I did recently when I wake up is I just want to ask myself, who am I today? Who am I today? And it gives me a chance to rise up in that consciousness because I'm claiming, right? I'm staking claim to the identity of, I'm going to be, who am I today? I'm going to be, or I am. Immediately, we need to speak present. Who am I today? I am the mom who is present, who's patient, who is modeling how to regulate tempers and moods and things like that so that I can uh, just have a good day, right? I don't um, want to fight with my siblings. I don't want to fight with my significant other. I don't want to have that, right? So I am somebody who knows how to communicate well. I am someone who has plenty of time for her clients. I don't feel stretched too thin. I have plenty of time after work and through dinner time to just be with, the kids and their constant interruptions and how they want to just be with me, right? And we're very present to each other and we're in the moment and we're together in the space in a very symbiotic and uh, loving way. Right. And so I can walk myself through it and I can see it. I can see us. Maybe in the kitchen cooking and the boys are around the kitchen island and we're all just talking and chatting and being, together and talking about our day. And Nana is there, my mom and their grandma is there, and she's also participating and being with us and hanging out. And we're just, yeah, having a good time decompressing from the day, debriefing each other on the day, and et cetera, right? I can walk through that. And then everyone's helping set the table, everyone's doing their part in making sure that dining table's ready to receive the plates. In fact, we're all bringing the plates, we're bringing our own plates, we're serving ourselves, however it looks, however you want it to look, right? You can walk yourself through that. That's visualization. That's you imagining what you want the day to be. And that's just by asking, who am I today? Right? And so you get to immediately call that into your experience. And I would offer yet another pro tip. When you see success in your basing kind of your vision or the vision for your day, kind of the unfolding of your day, when you are basing it on something, base it on something that you want to see grow, like love, right? Like togetherness, like time together as a family, quality time, things like that. Because it's not money per se that you want to see grow. Because I think a lot of us, we think in order to feel successful, I've got to have money rolling in every second of every day. I've got to have millions in the bank. That's a byproduct actually of a feeling set in motion behind the belief that you can have millions in the bank at any one time and manage it perfectly and be investing and having it compound and grow without you even blinking an eye. Like while you sleep, money is just trickling in. You get notification after notification, Stripe notifications saying, made a sale. You made a new sale. It's the best feeling ever to be like at the park with your boys and having sales notifications come in. Highly recommend it. But that's a byproduct of you first setting in motion all the things that you want to see grow, like peace and enoughness and capacity, right? I know that what I can do is enough. All of this, right, is trusting yourself. It's belief in yourself. It started there. Because what the money gives you is only the ability to expand your life, right? Expand in other areas of access and opportunity. But it's not the only thing, right? The actual dollar is just a symbol, right, of something so much more. This idea of, exchanging money and dollar signs and things like that is just a symbol of something so much more. So focus on the so much more, right? The depth of it, right? And there are going to be days you don't want to follow any type of calendar, routine, rubric, whatever. You don't want anybody to tell you what to do. No, don't tell me a rule, right? I will shit on it. I don't want you to tell me a rule, or I don't want to even think of my own rules, right? I just want to not do that today. Um, those days will come. Sure. I think it's cyclical, right? Just like the time of the month is cyclical. But when you do feel that way, right, recognize that when you are back to it, right, this doesn't define how things go, right? You not wanting to own up to the fact that you or own up to the truth of the ease in having a ritual or routine where you are first, right? And in serving your care, your self-care, right? Serving your mind, serving your body, your mind, body, soul, right? That kind of the giving to yourself first. Let's not forget that that's actually a rule, right? That you're setting for yourself. Like, I want to not neglect myself anymore. When when you're not bending over backwards every second of every day to carrying an infant and nurse and run after a toddler and things start to get a little bit more spacious. But even though it's their space, even in those hectic, first few months, there's time. It's just about prioritizing, right? We talked about reprioritizing after baby. This is kind of the thing is there are some unspoken rules there. Just because you don't want to abide by a rule or a routine on this particular day, it doesn't mean you're not abiding by a rule or a routine on this particular day. It's just a routine that feels like somebody telling you what to do is absent, that you get to call all the shots. But even that is something that you've ascribed to, right? Or subscribed to, maybe is better. Like this idea that you've adopted when it comes to maybe being rebellious or not wanting to do what they say and F the man, that's still a rule. So just recognize that. You want to always make sure even that like rebellious nature, that rebellious day in the mix is still part of the plan. You just want to recognize that it is still part of the plan. It is still part of your manifestation. You are still creating a life right now. So just make sure it factors in your priorities, the ultimate vision for your life, your next level identity, who you want to uh, be, right? Feel, see, do, right? All that. You want to factor that in start to finish, right, of every day. And I think at the end of the day, if you think about it, you want to not feel exhausted, not feel weakened by the day, or worried to death by the day, right? You don't want to crash land in bed. You want to cozy up in bed and like nestle and be like, okay, this is this is rehabilitating. I'm here for it. Bring it on. And to make that happen, you do, right, want to carry that dominant feeling, that energy, right, that you set forth in the morning when you didn't snooze your alarm, right? This idea of boundaries, tendencies, the habits that you're actively vigilant on so that you can make sure that they are serving you. And if there's a little bit of tweak here or there, they can become better habits, healthier habits, better feeling habits. Um, um, but when that's all clear, right? Because we're doing the work here. We're journaling right now. We're taking note of our day, our current schedule, and maybe how we might want it to look tomorrow. You must know and believe about yourself that you're, capable. You are um, strong. You are wise. I'm thinking of all the things that when it comes to following through on something you've set for yourself, you got to believe those things about yourself. You've got to believe that this came from a very wise part of you that's decided to set the alarm at this time. You've got to believe that you're capable. You're a person capable of waking up and starting the day at this time, right? All of that factors into you setting that alarm. All of that factors into you setting the goal. That all that factors into you setting up a course for your life and your household, your family, right? And so I guess what I ultimately want to say is that this is part of the bigger narrative, the overarching narrative of you as mother and entrepreneur. When this gets clear and is made easy and simplified down to the nuts and bolts of if I have no time, then hey, welcome, welcome. If you're still on with me, let me know. I see Jessica. Uh, if so, all of this basically factors into that, right? This core truth, this core belief about yourself. You want to make sure that that's really crystal clear. And when I was kind of in the depths of it and at my lowest, in postpartum depression, I needed to remind myself of that. I needed to remind myself what I was capable of. Maybe remind myself of maybe some awards in the past and like, recognition from the past and just say, that's all still here. And just big yourself up. Like love on yourself. And then when you love on yourself, you're trusting yourself. You're giving yourself the benefit of the doubt. You're believing in yourself just a little bit more than maybe yesterday, or a little bit more than the fear might have you believe in yourself. You're just taking those little baby steps. And when I was going through it, I wish I had somebody at my side who got it and was there with me, right? With no judgment, there to be a sounding board, there to be like a partner, I guess, so to speak, in some of what I was working through in my mindset as mother and entrepreneur, in my mindset, in how in my business model, how I was modeling in a new way this version of my business and how it would look, how it would support me in my life as mother and entrepreneur, right? All of these things, I wish I had somebody. And so that is why, like I said, the Mastermind for Entrepreneur Moms was born. And some of the questions, I know we're coming up on our time, but if you have questions, put them in the comments. Um, and I'm trying to toggle between Zoom and uh, YouTube. If you want to be inside the Zoom, we go into more Q&A after we close on YouTube. So make sure you're on the list and you get into the Zoom room with me. So, and that's just on my email list, so that when it's announced, you can join the Zoom room. We can get into some deeper Q&A, and then you can really apply this and we can workshop around how this information from this masterclass can be applied right now immediately today. And I think already you probably have a lot to go on. At least that's what my intention for this call was, is that you have a lot to go on right now because your mental load as mother is not just your kids, it's actually also your business. That mental load, the weight on your shoulders is everything that you want to be doing and maybe feel like you can't do enough. Or you don't have time to do it all, right? All that resentment is part of the mental load. All of that regret is part of the mental load. All of the weight of the things that you're not delegating out or you're not removing entirely from your to-do list is part of the mental load. So, it's so heavy because we don't believe in ourselves. We're not believing in ourselves as capable, or we're not putting in place the systems, the structures, the routines, the rituals, the people, maybe the tech in our business, especially like AI, using AI for our business. We're thinking it all has to just be on us. We're not using our village in a way that really supports us living our best life. We just think we have to kind of die to our ambitions and our in our most beautiful version of our lives. We just have to die to that. And I have to sacrifice and be a martyr right now because ultimately, in some future, someday, who knows when, then it'll all pay off. But no, it gets to pay off now. It gets to pay off now with just this simple shift in belief, in trusting yourself and being with who you are and how you're showing up every day, and even how you set up and structure your day, your routines and rituals. And like we've probably basically been highlighting here is that habits is a big part of that. So before we go, I do want to give a little bit of pep talk because the world needs you as you are right now is perfect and great and beautiful. Um, and then there's also like what you do from here, right? And what you do from here to that next level version of yourself is still perfect, beautiful, and amazing. And just don't leave behind all the stuff that makes you you, right? All of that is also going to be involved in the creating of your future. But there's nothing, absolutely nothing about marriage, about business, about parenting, about any of it that is um, like a one size fits all because everybody's manifesting their own version of reality, right? Even a tenth of a second difference is manifesting a whole new outcome, right? And just that little belief you have of yourself as, the little girl who would dream up a life for herself, that's still factoring into your day today. So even that little desire launched way back when she was 8 years old is still factoring in today. And the launch of the desire today at this age right now, as a mother of littles or teens or adults, is manifesting right now. So, you are unique, right? You're unique. As far as what you have to give the world, you are unique. There's nobody like you. You have a unique perspective, a unique personality, unique product inside of you waiting to be born. And so, what are you going to do with that potential? Right? Us mothers, we love potential. We love to get behind potential and help, push it forward. And we've created kind of these cycles of understanding our body through menstruation to menopause. We've created cycles to understand the moon. We've created cycles to help kids deal with their feelings and their moods and their behavior, right? And what it means you're angry. And so what can you do when you're angry, right? We're teaching our kids all of this stuff and we know it. We know the sun rises and sets and we know the moon and all this stuff orbits around the earth. All of this stuff has been made into rituals and routines. All this stuff has been made scientifically into a system that we can trust and rely on, and yet we're not doing it for ourselves. And so there is a way to kind of apply this universal truth that is true across the board because we are all one. We're all one iteration of the divine. And then we get to also, fully express ourselves in absolutely the most unique way ever. So I would just say that this is the work that you get to do underlying all of the motherhood endeavors, all of the business endeavors, everything that you go after in life that motivates you to keep going. All of that will be made clear, your boundaries, all of that will be made clear when you do this work. You'll know what's for you. You'll know what's aligned, what's misaligned. You'll know what you can let go of. And all of that is a really beautiful way to live because it's very clear, right? And I always say, like, clarity is enlightenment, right? It's the step in toward enlightenment. So if you are interested in the Mastermind for Entrepreneur Moms, you'll want to click the link below. I'll put that link and you can just check it out, read about it, apply to get on a call with me. Here's how let me show you quickly before we come off of YouTube and get into the Zoom room. This is where you'll land. And then watch this masterclass too, just a brief 30-minute masterclass. It'll kind of give you some more information on what you're applying for, what the mastermind's all about, all of that. You can even read and scroll down and find more information. But ultimately, you want to apply, and that will be a way that you can book a call with me if you want to get on a call with me, ask more questions, maybe even what I am offering when you do apply, if we see that, the mastermind's not for you, what I do want you to walk away with is a clarity launch plan, which is a 90-day blueprint for your business and your life. So with all this factored in, routines, rituals, mindset, all this thing, the energy leaks in your life, the clutter, right, that you want to let go of, and all of this stuff that you have to do every single day, that you want to get done, how are you going to do it? Right. So this 90-day blueprint will show you how you can fit it all in, how you can do your business and be a mother all at the same time without feeling frazzled and just completely, off your rocker. Like, what did I even think that I could do all this? You absolutely can. I'm here to remind you that you can. But if you're interested in learning more and applying, definitely get on there. I will just allude to a couple questions that typically come up for people who are interested in the mastermind. Questions mompreneurs typically ask is, can I pull this off? Am I biting off more than I can chew? If by doing this and being successful, am I leaving my family behind? Um, let's see. And then even homeschooling moms are asking the question, how do you even manage your bandwidth to do this, right? To teach your kid to read, and then you've got to go hop on a call and, coach somebody through turmoil and stress to see, the truth of it all and pass the doubt and the fear. How do you do that, right? This is all that comes with it. This is all what comes with this work behind clarity, behind mindset, so that you don't feel like you're in over your head, right? You're very clear. Uh, it feels very effortless, that you're able to balance work and home life, right? Even when the kids are homesick, right? There's this effortlessness that still gets to dominate the day. But if you have these questions, definitely hop on a call with me. So click that apply now button, hop on a call with me. We'll get clear on what's working, what's not working in your life so that you can be a great mom and a great entrepreneur at the same time. And that will close us out over on YouTube. And then I just want to give Jessica a shout out on YouTube, and give her some encouragement. I am calm and appreciative of today. May today bring connection. You got this. You got this, mompreneur. You absolutely do. Okay, so we're going to close out on YouTube. Thanks for being on live with me. Zoom, stay on with me, and we will get to your questions.